Alright, so the Black Ops 7 Season 1 update actually made some pretty big changes to weapon tuning, and I feel like a lot of people completely missed it. If your gunfights have felt a little different lately, or certain weapons don't feel as dominant as they used to, this update is the reason why. Starting with Black Ops 7, multiplayer Treyarch focused heavily on making weapons feel more role-based instead of having a few guns that dominate every single range. One of the biggest changes was to the Maddox, which had been one of the most popular weapons in the game. It received adjustments to its range and recoil, which means it's still strong, but it's no longer beaming people across the map as easily without a proper build. The M15 also received tuning that reduces how effective it is at mid-range, which helps bring it more in line with other assault rifles. It's still usable, but it's not the automatic go-to choice anymore. On the flip side, pistols like the Velox 5.7 received accuracy and handling improvements, which makes them feel way more reliable, especially when you're moving and taking close range fights. Another important change that affects almost every weapon is how sprint to fire behavior works. Your base sprint to fire timing now lines up more closely with sprint to ADS timing, which makes gunfights feel smoother when you're playing aggressively and constantly pushing. Now moving over to Warzone, because this is where a lot of weapon tuning and attachment changes really come into play. Several Warzone weapons had their default attachments adjusted to better match their intended role. Things like barrels, optics and magazines were swapped out to improve recoil control, handling and consistency instead of just raw damage. Weapons like the Shadow, MPC and the Ryden all received attachment changes that make sustained fire more predictable and easier to control during longer gunfights. Recoil stabilization was also tuned to reduce randomness and improve overall recoil control. This is especially noticeable in mid to long range fights where recoil patterns now feel smoother and more consistent across different builds. There were also loadout and perk adjustments aimed at balancing the overall Warzone experience. Some default loadouts were updated and perks like Ghost were adjusted so they no longer completely counter advanced UAVs, which helps keep information and positioning more balanced. Overall, these changes push both Black Ops 7 and Warzone toward more thoughtful weapon builds and less copy-paste meta setups. If you haven't gone back and adjusted your classes since the Season 1 update dropped, you should definitely take the time to do that. If this breakdown helped you out, make sure you like, comment and subscribe for more Black Ops 7 and Warzone updates, and I'll catch you all in the next one.